Hello everybody, welcome to THK Movie Recaps, a show where I recap famous horror movies and make jokes about them, because why not? My pilot video did pretty well, both shorts and long form video, so we're going to be starting off the official series with covering the Universal Monster movies. These movies were mainly made around the 1930s and 40s and are probably a main reason why we see these specific characters and certain designs around Halloween. We start this chapter with Dracula, the 1931 film based off the original book by Bram Stoker in 1897. This character has many adaptations in the past 105 years, and is a staple of Halloween and horror. Carl Lamel's Dracula is documented to be the third-ish adaptation of this character. Before this, we had Nosferatu in 1922, which was an unauthorized adaptation of the story, and Dracula's Death, a Hungarian film from 1921 that's apparently lost. I don't even know if this exists, but apparently it does. This movie was a big reason why the character in the image associated is so famous, even to this day. So we'll be taking a look at this famous Universal movie. This movie begins with an opening credits with the Black Swan playing in the background. It fades into a bumpy carriage flinging people around and hurrying its way to the inn these people are staying at. They're hurrying because the night is the night of evil, which includes a special guest that is... The carriage makes it to this little village where the inn is located, but as the others are getting off, one man claims this isn't his final stop. This is Renfield, a man that has to head to Borgo Pass to take a carriage to the castle of Count Dracula. The people of the town urge him not to go as vampires live up in the castle and feed on the blood of their enemies, nor everyone actually.
At night, and they feed on the blood of the living.
Renfield goes anyway, as it's a matter of business. Before he could step into the vehicle, one of the villagers gives him a little cross to protect himself from vampires. They got the castle Dracula with a vampires feast. Wives of Dracula are overseen waking up for their evening by the Count himself, played by Bela Lugosi. Looking at almost emotionless, kind of, sort of, I don't know what this look is. Dracula mans the carriage carried by two black horses to take Renfield to his destination. While on the way up, Renfield hangs out of the window to ask the driver to slow down and stop driving like a jackass, only to see a flying bat in his place. Once he stops at the castle, the driver is completely gone. Still on his business mission, Renfield walks into the large, what seems to be abandoned castle, but it isn't abandoned. Dracula lives there. Damn, Dracula live like this? Dracula invites Renfield up to the stairs to do business in a more furnished and finished room. Hell yeah, Dracula is trying to move out of this castle and is, I guess, selling it, apparently. While putting away the lease, Renfield cuts himself a paperclip. Ow. And Dracula is seen beginning to get thirsty. But before he can get to it, the cross blocks his path. Dracula offers Renfield wine before heading off to do whatever Transylvanians do in their free time. Before heading to bed, Renfield tries to get fresh air out of the balcony, only to get bit by this bat that can't fly properly. Renfield knocks to the ground as all of Dracula's wives seem to want him. His vampires will act like dogs. The big leader scares off the others so he can only eat. We cut to a ship named the Vesta in a crazy storm. The ship is unknowingly carrying Dracula and is now serving Renfield to the great fictional city known as London. Once the ship docks later in the days, people find out that all of the crewmates are dead, with the only man left standing is crazy-looking Renfield. Dracula really just sacrificed the dude so he can get away. We see a newspaper from the late London edition talking about the ship and Renfield being taken to a psychiatric hospital where doctors are confused on why he eats small bugs. And with Renfield locked away in a very nice place, Dracula goes sightseeing in his brand new flashy outfit. He runs into a woman selling flowers for your buttonhole, yeah.
Drop your buttonhole, sis.
Drac stares at the woman as he decides he does want a flower for his butthole and corners her. Next thing we see, the woman is dead while a policeman stands next and just blows his whistle at her body. But by now, Dracula's already made his escape, heading off to a show playing in the local theater, where he meets his new neighbors. His neighbors are Dr. Stewart, his daughter Mina, and her fiancé John Harker, and her friend Lucy. Lucy and the Count briefly talk about a poem about death. Later that night, Lucy and Mina talk about their experience with Dracula as he sits out on the street staring up at Lucy getting ready for bed. Once Drac knows who lives here, he flies his plastic bat ass up to her room and sneaks a midnight snack while she was asleep. After that night, we learn that Lucy has died from the lack of blood in her body. The surgeons question the missing blood and call in a professional, Professor Van Helsing. The Van believes that they are dealing with the undead and asks the men in the meeting to open their minds to the possibility.
The superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
At Seward Sanitarium, wait, this guy owns a sanitarium, what else does this guy have? Anyway, Renfield's been trying to eat spiders and other insects during his stay, but the worker taking care of him doesn't want Bro to have a healthy diet for some reason. Having a suspicion, Van Helsing lifts Wolfbane in Renfield's face from the panic and shy away. Damn dude, they're just flowers, calm down. This proves Helsing's suspicion. Renfield is a vampire's servant. In the night, Dracula flies into Mina's room while she's sleeping. Dracula just said, man, the first time was so nice I had to do it twice. The next morning, Mina thinks it was all a dream and retells what she saw to John.
Closer. And closer. I felt its breath on my face.
Van Helsing's there too to do field testing on this Transylvanian creature, and expects Mina to find bite marks on her neck. Dracula makes his arrival and meets the professor for the first time. Dracula and Mina have a moment right in front of John, but before Harker can interfere, Van Helsing stops him as he sees that Drake has no reflection. When Mina goes upstairs to her bed, Helsing immediately places the attack card on the count. After the quite frankly underreaction to probably what you do when you see yourself in the mirror, Drake tries to play it off as he makes an escape as a wolf. While Van Helsing tries to convince Harker that Drake is a vampire, Mina begins to mini-date with Dracula. Renfield teleports into the movie for some reason and warns Mina is in danger before a bat tells him telepathically to shut his spider-eating mouth up.
I wasn't going to say anything. I told him nothing. I'm loyal to you, Master.
After having to deny knowing Dracula, the maid comes in to inform everyone that she found Mina unconscious in the lawn. After regaining consciousness, she also begins coming back to her senses. Van Helsing and the others plot how to kill Dracula as Renfield shows up to talk about mice.
Rats!
Never mind. Dracula's arrival cuts off Renfield talking about his favorite animal,
Rats!
and the others leave so Drake and Helsing can WWE it out or something. After failing to mind control Helsing, he goes in for the kill before the professor pulls out his Uno reverse card. Meanwhile, Mina is seen to regain purpose in her life and seems to now be into her fiancé. That's just the vampirism talking, as she admits she's not really into John after a cross breaks her trance. They stick this NPC nurse at Mina's door on guard for not Smaratu, but what's in the count folding under zero pressure. Drac captures Mina and takes her to his new lair. Renfield follows along with Van Helsing and Harker following him, leading Drac to believe that Renfield is a
Rats!
Micah reckons he's the rat.
and throws him down the stairs to kill him off. Drac goes to hide himself and Mina as the others break in. They follow him into what looks to be the same room from the beginning where they originally used to live. Did all castle basements look like this? Why is Dracula sleeping knowing damn well he's being hunted? You may not rest now, there are Helsings nearby. Dracula is easily killed as Mina is saved as they leave the castle and Van Helsing behind or something. The end. Drac 100% deserved to get murked in this situation. What do you mean you're running from these people trying to kill you and your best bet is to go sleep in your coffin? Why are you sleeping, my guy? Anyway, that's Dracula, the 1931 movie that became really famous. Next episode will probably either be Frankenstein or Wolfman, and we'll keep going until I get all the main Universal monster movies out of the way. But other than that, that's about it. See you next time.